Good day, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are going to discuss about the decision making, relevant cost, and its benefits. So this is a report by yours truly, Jenny Divino Libot on MSB. So the managerial accountant's role in the decision making is very vital. So managerial accountants are specifically responsible for delivering pertinent information during the decision making process. So consequently, they need to be well versed in the choices that managers across the board must make. Okay, so here we have the 7 steps in the decision making. Now, these steps are really vital for the managers to really understand the process and what are their key roles and the guides that they need to identify in order to solve a problem. So first, we have the clarify the decision problem. So that is number 1. So for number 1, you have to clearly state what is the problem of the company. So, for example, ang company nimo is nagkulang siya sa pag-provide og mga products. So, you have to identify nga naman, no? You have to specify the criterion. So, following the clarification of a choice dilemma, the management should outline the standard by which a choice will be determined. So, from stating clearly unsa gyud ang problema, and then you specify it. So, unsa man po'y goal nimo, no? What is your goal? Nga namang naay problema, and then what is your goal sa output nimo sa imong pag-decide sa imong uh, solution. So next, because you have the problem and then you have identified unsa man ang goal nimo as if finishing kanang or the output or the result of your decision. Next, you are going to identify the alternatives, different alternatives for you to solve a problem. This means in identifying the alternatives, this means having to decide between 2 options. So determining the alternatives or options to choose from is a critical step in the decision making. So you have to think about things nga pwede, no? For it can be applied in a personal sense. So for example, sa imuhang kaugalingon, no, you have a stepping stone in your life. You're going to decide whether you're going to rent a house or just simply have a house and lot nga ikaw gyud magtukod to build your own house. Okay? So, you have alternatives, no? Nga dapat nimo pilian. And now that you have the alternatives, you develop a decision model. So, in developing a decision model, you have to summarize all the gathered information that would somehow help you in the decision making. So, kana siya that it's very vital. You need to have the relevant information that you need so that you will be guided, and then you will have a good decision with all the data that you have gathered. Okay, so in the decision model, it is simplified representation of the choice problem. So unnecessary details are stripped away and the most important elements of the problem are highlighted. So the decision model brings together the elements, no? So all the elements nga magather nimo, dapat makuha nimo ang criterion, the constraints, and the alternatives. And then after that, you collect all the data. So, imuha ng role, if you are the manager or accountant, imuha ng role nga kuhaon gyud nimo tanan data kanang kina uh, gamayang data nga needed nimo uh, for you to have 100% confidence in the decision that you are going to make. So, though involved ka sa process 1 to 5, after that, that is already your the final decision and the evaluation, trabaho na sa managerial accountant tanan. Okay, so in step 6, that's the time that you are going to select the alternative. So you have to make a decision asa man sa duha ka options ang imong gipili. And then the number 7, you should have an evaluation of all of the alternative that you choose. Very important na nga mag-evaluate ka so that you will know kung unsa ang effectivity niya sa imong decision, and somehow your data is going to help you in the near future when you face another decision making process. So next, what is the difference between the qualitative and the quantitative? Katong nakita ninyo sa table ganina, no, nga na ato siya part dito, no, from step 1 to 5 ganina, that belongs to the quantitative analysis. Okay? Quantitative to siya kay you have the data man. And then when you do the qualitative, that's going to be in the step 6 and step 7. So eventually you made the decision and then you evaluate the decision that you made. So out from all the data gathered. Okay? So qualitative versus the quantitative, when we say qualitative, of course, that is descriptive senses. You feel it, you hear, you smell, you see the total experience. And then the quantitative data is the numerical, discrete, counting, continuous, measurement. So when we say quantitative, the decision problems involving accounting data. So qualitative characteristics, the elements in a decision problem that are qualitative, those can't be efficiently conveyed in monetary or numerical terms. So that is the difference between the two. So, again, katong sa ibabaw nga process, sa steps is moto ito mga quantitative, and then from step 6 to step 7, that is qualitative. So, in obtaining our information, it is very important that it has the relevance, accuracy, and timeliness. So, relevance, if information connotes or connects to a decision problem. So if ingana ang iyang characteristic, it is said to be relevant. No? Various decisions demand for different sets of information or data being gathered. So when you say relevance, the information that you have gathered, it is relevant to the decision problem. Dili kay naa kay information niya wala ra dito siya nabot, no? Always remember that the data that you're going to gather, naagid siya connotation sa imuhang decision problem. So next, the information is considered accurate, or it has the characteristic of accuracy if the information is correct and true. No, all the data are correct and true. So information relevant to a decision dilemma needs to be accurate. This implies that the data must be exact or correct in all details. So, for example, katong example nga gihatag nako kanina nga you have to decide whether you are going to build your own house or you are going to rent it out. So, in order for you to find the correct data, dapat sakto po no kung moingon ka nga kanang mag-rent ka and then na kay gipili nga house, dili siya ma-consider nga accurate if dili siya mo inline sa imuhang lifestyle. So it should be nga ang piliun nimo nga type of house, i-compare nimo sa imuhang gusto nga i-design and i-build, dapat pareha siya, no? Kay para mo-meet siya sa imuhang kanang lifestyle. Kay, for example, naa kay option 1 nga mo rent, and then ang gikuha nimo nga detalye is katong pinakagamay nga pinakabarato nga renta. So bisan pag katong pinakabarato nga renta, let's just say 4,000 a month, but your lifestyle doesn't fit ana nga renta. It can be nga taas kayo ka og ganahan no sa imo lifestyle. You want a house nga fully furnished, available na ang wifi daan, uh, gwapo ang iyahang kanang I mean amenities sa inside sa balay, for example sa iyang fixtures, mahalon nga fixtures imong gusto. Of course, mahalon yun nga balay because that is your lifestyle. Dili nimo kaya ang baratohon nga lifestyle. So, dili pwede nga kadto siya nga amount sa balay, kuhaon nimo para sa imong option 1 nga mag-rent out. So, it should be the same. Kung mahalon kag lifestyle nga maupoy i-design and build nimo nga nindot kaayo, it should be nga kuan siya, balance. Because if it's not going to be balanced, it's not considered to be true and correct. So, dili gihapon ka maka-decide. Eventually, mo ka nga, rent lang kay mas barato. Of course, barato siya nga rent, kay barato man gikuha ni mo nga rentable ka na residence. But, in the long run, it's not going to give the comfort that you want. It's not going to meet the lifestyle that you want. So, eventually, you came across a wrong decision. So, again, including in the accounting side, it should be that all your information are true and correct. So, kung naa kay kanang decision making nga kanang you're going to have a new product. So, in making a new product, from your research and development nga team, you should have accurate, true, and kanang correct nga detail sa unsa may process sa paggama sa product, what are the initial kanang activities nga na-involve ana, mga presyo. So, kinanglan sakto siya, no? And tinuod, dili kay gama-gama lang siya. Okay? So, dili siya ingon nga daghag mali, no? Kung mahimo no wala siya mali, tama gyud tanan and it is honest. And next is timeliness. Timeliness is very important. So information, it should have a balance. It should be balanced between the accurate data. Tama ang data, no? Accurate siya, tinuod siya. The information is true and correct. And then the information is relevant to the decision problem, and also it is timely. But pasabot timely, dili siya um, dili siya dugay kaayo nga recording, dili pud siya dali ra kayo nga recording. So for example, you want to evaluate yourself, okay? In evaluating yourself, dili ka makaingon nga you're going to evaluate yourself in a month. Okay? So, you wanted to record sa imuhang kanang imuhang decision making along the kanang imuhang kinabuhi, kung asa man ka gabalik-balik lang ingon ani imong mali, imong progress ingon ana. So, in a month, medyo dili kayo siya makahatag nimo og kanang sakto nga information. But if you're going to say 9 months onward, so according sa book nga kung gibasa no kang Peter Drucker, kung may mo mag self-evaluation ka 9 months to a year, so that the next year matanaw nimo kung unsa ang imong decision making last year, like the whole year unsay pattern nimo, unsay mga wrong decisions nimo, basin feeling nimo sakto pero inagtan-aw nimo sa imong data ay mali day ko ingon ani. So the information should be timely and balanced with the data that you have. So, meaning to say, kung mag-iskot ka sa market side, dili siya pwede nga in a short span of time kana rang gikuha nimo. It should be relevant to the data, kay basin og taas ra pud kaayo nga data, kitay mo decision ka karon, and then ang data nga gikuha nimo 1980s pa, o dili na siya relevant, no? It should be balanced. The accuracy of your data equivalent to the time nga gikuha nimo. Okay? So I hope that is understood that our data should be relevant, accurate, and timely. So, we have the summary for the managerial accountant's role. Number one, decide what information is relevant to each decision problem. And then number two is provide accurate and timely data, keeping in mind the proper balance between these often conflicted criteria. So we have two criteria for relevant information. Number one, we have the bearing on the future and different under competing alternatives. So in bearing on the future, so kanang imuhang data, ang pag-decide nimo basing on the historical data, you have to put into consideration nga kanang yung gamon nimo, it's going to affect future cost and future benefit. So that means ang costing nimo mo consider gyud ka sa umaabot. No, dili i-consider nimo sa present. It should be for future ang imuhang kanang information. And then it should have different competing alternatives. So you should have alternative 1 and alternative 2. And both of the alternatives, it should have a connotation between the future. So you should have all the data nga with your alternative or with your options naa siya'y result or estimated nga result in the future. Okay? Kana siya nga imong mga alternatives. So identifying relevant cost and benefits, we have actually different types of kanang identifying cost, no? We have the sunk cost, relevant cost, and then opportunity cost, and other costs that we are going to learn in while we have the presentation as we go along. So, for example, you are a cafe owner. Now you have several coffee maker machines. Now, the problem existed kay nakuha no from consumer, nakuha sa consumer nimo nga uy dugay mo kahatag og item or dugay mo ka serve sa coffee. Now, following all the steps that we have learned a while ago, ma-identify nimo ang problem because naguba ang isa nimo ka coffee maker or sa coffee machine nimo. So you're going to identify the different alternatives. Now your goal is to eventually provide good service. Mo na goal nimo kay natagaan magkag kanang nagtagaan kag complain nga medyo nadugay na ang service ninyo paghatag sa coffee. Now you found out that one of your coffee machine is broken. So you have option 1 and option 2. Option 1 is not to replace. So imo lang siya ipaayo. And then option 2 is to replace. Now you have two options here. The first and the next is you're going to gather all the datas, diba? So you have the unit cost, how much man siya, tanan nga cost nga na ano sa makita nimo. So you have the salary for the worker and then the proceeds, and then depreciation and then the operating cost of the machine itself. Now you have the unit cost, dapat pareha sila no kay ang unit sa imuhang kung palito nimo siya, you have to pay 30,000 for it. And then it's still naa naman na ni-exist ang isa is not to replace, ni-exist naman na siya, that's still 30,000 mo na value niya sa imong machine. Now, for the salary or worker that's going to operate on the machine, it's 12,000 and 12,000 pesos, let's say, sa isa ka bulan, no? So, sa isa ka bulan, the proceeds for option 1 nga not to replace kanang naa siya kintahay sa isa ka bulan no kay magsige magyapon siya serve og coffee. But hinay lang. The proceeds is around 4,000 pesos, no? 4,000. And then while in option 2 that you're going to buy is 120,000 a month. Mo ni proceeds nimo kay paspas man siya mohatag og kuan kanang product. So next is the depreciation. Now, because option 1 is, kung ano naman siya, niabot naman siya sa iyang limit, we'll consider it as 0, no? Hindi na siya maminusan sa iyang value. While in option 2, we are going to place a value here kay bag-o man siya nga unit, we will include a depreciation amount. Okay? Next is the operating cost. Now, the operating cost of option 1 is 27,000. So, the 27,000 is mo ni magasto nimo, for example, mga spill out sa imuhang ingredients because kanang hindi naman siya kaayo mo function, and then you have other materials that you need to use for the replacement kanang mga pisa niya, and then eventually you have to replace some of the parts kay wa man kanipalit og bag-o. So, in a month, you have an operating cost of 27,000, and your managerial accountant found out that eventually it's going to increase if there's going to be another problem for the coffee machine. Now, in option 2 is to replace. Of course, bago man siya, now you only have the operating cost of 5,000. Gamay nga spillage sa ingredients and other parts for cleaning the machine, for maintenance, you have 5,000 pesos for that. That is the operating cost. Now, with all the costs that you have in your data, here we found out the salary or the worker, we consider it as irrelevant. Now, what are irrelevant costs? Um, Irrelevant costs are costs that can be either positive or negative that would not be affected by a management's decision. Now, we are going to decide whether to replace the coffee machine or not to replace the coffee machine. But kaning salary or worker, it's not going to affect. Kaya nga naman, whether we replace it or not, it's going to be the same, no, ang ato ang salary worker. And it's not, ang cost niya, dili siya connected sa ato ang coffee maker or sa atong coffee machine. So, we consider it as irrelevant. So, you're going to find out asa man ani nga mga cost ang irrelevant. So, here we consider the salary or the worker payment as irrelevant in this type of decision making. Now next, here we can see the unit cost. The same sila og value, we call it as a sunk cost. Sunk cost, they are cost data that are unaffected by the present or future actions and have no bearing on cost in the future. So these are costs that have already been incurred. So naka-incurred na siya. So in this case, the cost for the unit, wala na siya, no? Dili na to siya i-consider kay makuha naman na siya, plus minus, maor man na siya. So, for the proceeds, in option 1, you have the proceeds of 4,000. And in option 2, that you're going to replace your coffee machine, you have 120,000. Now, the proceeds, or mauna imong halin. So, the proceeds are considered your opportunity cost. So, regardless of what option you are going to choose, the 4,000 that is your opportunity cost, no? Makuha nimo. And then for option 2 is the 120. So that is the opportunity cost. The potential benefit given up when the choice of one action precludes a different action. So kung si option 2 ang imong pilion, your opportunity cost is 4,000. Now kung si option 1 ang imong pilion, your opportunity cost is 120,000. No? That is the opportunity cost. So next, if imo siyang i-minus, because we have here the operating cost, no? And then the totality of your cost here, kani siya with the proceeds, 27 and 4,000, ang answer ana is 23,000, no? 27 minus the 4,000, it's 23,000. Now, next, here, for the option 2, imo siyang i-add up because we have a depreciation of 2,500 and the operating cost of 5,000. Imo siyang i-add up ni 120,000. The answer is 112,500 peso. Now, if you are going to differentiate that one, your differential cost is, what is that? 112 minus nimo Okay, so your differential cost is 89,500 kani siya. So the benefit of that is makita nimo from previously that it is option 2 is the best, no? Option 2 is the best. Kay kanang kuan man siya mas maayo man siya og imo siyang alisdan. Kay bisan pag mopalit kag bag-o nga 30,000, still dako ka og kinitaan. So here we have special decisions. We have either sometimes the company is going to face different types of decision, no? Whether to accept or reject a special offer, outsource a product or service, add or drop a service, product, or department. So even if you have special decisions, no, you still have to go back and collect all the data. So special or offer order, a unique one-time order made by a customer. So differential analysis provides a format that helps manager decide whether to accept or reject special orders. So it can be kana mga customized, no, nga mga offer. So bana-banaon nimo kung basin maalkansi pud ka. Or if you have another type, outsourcing decision, also called a make or buy decision, entails a choice between producing a product or service in-house and purchasing it from an outside supplier. So you're going to choose kung kamo mo outsource mo ato ba mo sa lain mo palit, and then eventually ihatag ay imupunan, no, ang value, then imo imbaligya. Or you're going to drop a service sa existing nimo nga company, basin mag-drop ka og product pod or wad-uni mo nga department. So you're going to evaluate the performance of those before ka maka-decide, and then you have to go back again with the 7 steps, no? So in analyzing special decisions, you have to identify the different cost behaviors involved for your data gathering. So we'll always go back to the 7 steps in the decision-making process in all the types of special decisions that may take place in a. So again, we will always go back to the 7 steps in the decision-making process in all types of the special decisions that may take place in a company. So here I have a video for you all about.
Have you ever wondered why managerial accountants are so crucial in the decision-making process of any business? Well, it's because they provide the crucial information needed for special decisions that can make or break a company. Let's delve into these special decisions and use some case studies to illustrate just how important they are. Consider the first case: accept or reject a special offer. Imagine a company called Bright Tech, a tech giant that has been approached with a lucrative offer to develop a unique software for a client. However, this would mean redirecting resources from their current projects. Here's where the managerial accountant steps in. By providing a detailed cost-benefit analysis, the accountant can help the managers decide if the offer is worth accepting. Now, onto the second special decision: outsource a product or service. Let's take a look at Stellar Designs, a clothing company that is considering outsourcing their fabric production to cut costs. The managerial accountant's role here is to analyze the financial and non-financial implications of this decision. Will it save costs in the short term, but affect quality and customer satisfaction in the long run? The accountant's analysis will guide the decision. The third special decision is to add or drop a service, product, or department. Consider Bella Cosmetics, a beauty brand thinking of discontinuing a particular range of products that aren't selling well. The managerial accountant would assess the overhead costs, the potential loss of customers, and the impact on the brand image. They would also analyze the potential benefits of reallocating resources to more profitable ventures. In each of these cases, the managerial accountant's skills and knowledge are vital. They bring clarity to complex decisions, providing the necessary information for managers to make informed decisions that can drastically affect the company's future. So, to summarize, managerial accountants are the unsung heroes behind the scenes, guiding companies through the labyrinth of special decisions. They help decide whether to accept or reject a special offer, whether to outsource a product or service, and whether to add or drop a service, product, or department. Their expertise not only aids in making informed decisions, but also helps to steer the company in the right direction towards success. Remember, every decision in business has a ripple effect, and it's the managerial accountant's role to predict and interpret these ripples. They are the compass that helps navigate the complex world of business decisions. So next time you think of a company's success, remember the crucial role that managerial accountants play in it.
So thank you very much for watching and listening this video presentation. So I hope you have learned a lot all about the 7 steps and the decision making, relevant cost, and the benefits. Thank you.